Well, actually, there are some people which are asking for long-term rental compared to short-term rentals. Is that possible if they are owners of whatever kind of a property with us? Of course, it's possible. So, my team, as a management team, we can be managing through long-term rentals, both, and as far as like similar situation with the short-term rentals. However, people have to know that, of course, short-term rentals are more profitable. So, look, compared to the long-term rentals, there are people which still prefer long-term rentals just to know who their tenants are and like not to be changing all the time. So this is absolutely possible. So people can stay themselves or they can rent with us long-term or short-term, both. To rent the property out, the only thing that that the owners have to do is sign a management contract with the management company that we have here on the island. This is the company that is managing our resorts. And once they have this contract, they don't need to do anything else. So whenever the house is available, they just can handle the keys. They can, of course, the earlier they warn us that the house is going to be for rental, then we can actually prepare advertising, put it just in our listings, etc. We can guarantee better return and occupancy. Or of course, if they can't do this, it's also possible. It's just a matter of return on investment. So if people want to be addressing their investment more from the perspective of return on investment, they have to be more precise and accurate when they're about to be renting with us. Otherwise, they have the full flexibility in doing this even last minute.
I understand that clients can make money through renting their properties, but let's talk about ROI in a way that is not really involving businesses, and I'm talking about property value appreciation. Is it common here in Zanzibar, and how does it come about annually?
There are quite many questions related to property appreciation, evaluation with the time. So we all know that properties around the world are appreciating with the time, so quite a lot. It's not really easy in this respect to make a comparison in between the different areas around the world because there are actually many areas where the appreciation is quite high. Here in Zanzibar, we enjoy one of the highest in the world again. So for the last about 3 years, at average, especially on the beach where we stand now, the prices grow up in the range of about 300 to 400% in the range of about 3 to 5 years. So appreciation is quite high, and I think it will significantly continue its growth. And the reason for this is that in general, the base of number of beds in Zanzibar, it's quite small compared to the size of the island. I'm just going to give you one example for you. Zanzibar is about 2,000 square kilometers, and like it's a quite a big island actually, and we have something in the range of about 20,000 beds available on the whole island right now. They used to be something like 10,000 beds about maybe 3 to 5 years ago. So now they're already 20,000 beds. But just for the people to imagine the big resorts around Europe, like Spain, like Bulgaria, where I'm coming from, and other countries, big resorts, I mean big villages, like which are resort type, they go up to 500,000 or over number of beds in a single village, like similar to, for example, to Sunny Beach in Bulgaria, or many resorts around Spain. So this is a single village. And here we speak about the whole island. Supply is about 20,000 beds. So I think that with the time, this number is going to significantly grow. And of course, there will be corresponding demand. The moment this happens, the prices will continue growing, just because at this stage, it's still early stage. If you compare, let's say, Zanzibar to its rivals, to the competitors around the Indian Ocean, like Mauritius, Seychelles, and Maldives, which are actually the three main competitors around the Indian Ocean, Zanzibar still stays like the cheapest location around, but it also still has the crown of the island with the biggest growth of prices in between all of them, because the others are already mature and Zanzibar is still developing. So for this reason, I believe that there is quite a lot of potential, and to myself, this is the place to invest now. Yes, officially, I think this is the number, and this depends very much on the investments. So it is the more investments are coming, the tourism is growing more, just because we need to have this bed base, because currently what happens is the average occupancy rate reported around the island is nearly 70 to 75%, which is extremely high for an average occupancy for the whole island. The reason for that is actually the bed base is not really great. It's not so big. So we need to have a lot more places if we want to grow the number of tourists, which I would rather say, by the way, it's not our goal. So personally, I like the island the way it is. And I hope that it's going to stay like the way it is with small developments, tiny cottages and houses around these beautiful locations, different beaches, different places. And we see that it's still happening because there are some efforts coming from the government that they are trying to employ so that they avoid these huge developments, like multi-story buildings, huge. There are some coming, but basically the idea of the place is not like this. So we are aiming to stay small, charming, like this environment that we have now. And I see that people coming to invest here not only because of the regulations, but they love the place the way it is, and for this reason they try to keep it like this. So there are a lot of new investments. However, most of them, they keep the style. They keep tropical, small, charming, exotic, not really huge like these monstrous buildings which are like around many places around the world. And this is what we love about Zanzibar.
Great.
Well, in regards to restrictions for foreigners acquiring properties in Zanzibar, there are two main aspects of this question. Uh, the first one is about nations. As far as I know, there are almost no limitations for any nations to be acquiring properties in Zanzibar. So might be something, maybe some small list of countries here and there, but basically most of the nations are more than welcome. So actually, people from around the world can invest in Zanzibar. The second aspect of this question is the local regulations. The local regulations are made in a way to protect the small investors, the small local investors, and they are focused mainly to welcome actually some investors which are doing like bigger investments in general. For this reason, what is done is that small investments could only be done with in the form of a local partnership. So if somebody wants to buy just a house or make a small business, they have to make a local partnership with a local guy, whoever. You have to find somebody, and this local guy have to be owning into the company more than 50%, I think 50 plus percent. So he needs to be a majority stakeholder into the company that is going to be owning, for example, your house. Of course, it's possible you can buy a house, you can buy a business or something, but it is you need to have these local partners, which is actually the strategy for most of the islands around the world. So there are a number of islands which are doing this to protect the local community and to make sure that the small businesses are like covered area for the local community. So then, how is it possible to make a small investment, let's say buy a house or make some small business on the island as a small international investor? There is a regulation that allows such investments to happen under the umbrella of a bigger investor, which is ranked by the ZIPA. ZIPA is the local agency, something like Foreign Direct Investments Agency, which is regulating the big investments. So it is possible if you go under the license of a big investor as a co-investor, call it like this, going under the very same license. If you do this as an investor, you are actually benefiting by all of the benefits of the big investor. So in this case, you can be fully owning your property. It's not necessary to be having like local shareholder or any influence, and then you're getting a lot of other benefits. So for this reason, I would say that this regulation works quite well. Actually, it's addressing exactly the needs of the big investors, but it's trying to organize them into like pacts which are doing bigger projects, like in terms of investment, not like size-wise necessarily. So that's why I would rather say that it's highly recommended that investors are going under these regulated bigger projects like the one that we do. So the number of projects is not so big, by the way, at this stage. There are like, I would say, rather less than about 10 projects on the island of similar kind. As most of them are inland, there are almost no projects which are on the beach, because the beach is kind of a reserved area for hotels, and mainly hotels. So the residential areas are mainly inland, And we are, I would say, quite unique in this respect because the project of Ankaya village is probably one of the very few on the island which are right on the beach, not only on the beach, but actually I would say on one of the most beautiful, attractive, and interesting for investments beaches around Zanzibar, which is the very heart of Paje Beach. Purchasing a property in Zanzibar is coming with the taxation, relevant taxation. So it's, I would say, quite simple. So the tax when you are acquiring property is 15% VAT, and there is about in total about another 5% of all the rest of the taxes, which are different type of stamp duties or different type of taxes. So which are coming with different regulators. There are several different types, but all of them are coming under the umbrella of about 5%. Well, in regards to financial options for foreigners, financial instruments of any kind, this is very new direction for the whole country because foreigners with the years, for the last about 10 years, Zanzibar is more or less developing as a destination for investments. For these 10 years, the investors have been coming with their private equity capital. So they didn't really face a lot of support by local financial institutions. However, local financial institutions are already mature enough to support the international investors, and they are doing their best efforts now. So they already have projects that they have supported for the last few years, and they are trying to get involved further and further. Currently, we are in deep negotiations with several banking financial institutions in the country, and we are trying to come up with a structured finance for our customers willing to acquire something in Zanzibar. And the idea is for this to happen in an easygoing way. So we're still not ready with this, but we are working on this topic, and we expect that very soon we're going to have a financial facility for our clients, which they can use to leverage their return on investment. In regards to financial options for the local community, they are definitely there. So for the local people, it's really easy. So if they can actually, it's very similar to all around the world. So they can just go to the banks and they shall qualify for the acquisition of a particular property. Of course, with us, it's more easy just because we already have partnering banks that they're willing to support us for the foreigners and the local people, both. For the foreigners, it's a little bit more complicated just because of lack of enough, I would say, experience of the local banks doing this business. But for the local community, it is absolutely possible. So you just go, you qualify with all the documents that are necessary with the banks. There are some procedures which are kind of made easier because of the partnership with in between our company and the banks, so people can rely on the fact that it could happen in a more, how to say, flawless way. In regards to payment options for the project, people from around the world may enjoy different payment options for their convenience. So we accept payments locally in Zanzibar, which is for sure preferred option for people from Tanzania, Zanzibar, maybe Kenya. I mean, all the people which are local, they would prefer maybe local payments. We do accept payments also in our mother company, which is in Europe. So it's possible also to pay in Europe, which is preferred option for many European citizens and like Americans as well. We do accept also alternative payment methods, like for example, crypto, blockchain, bitcoins, etc. Like any sort of like alternative methods, which are crypto related. So always, all of this is possible. So, and we do this just to make it easier for our clients. So everything works. All of these methods are prepared and they work for us. It's just the way of preference of the client. Is it possible to acquire a property for the sole purpose of investments and return on investment? There are some people which are actually interested to buy properties with us, even for the investment purposes only, without the intention to even come or maybe seldomly coming, but even not coming to Zanzibar. This is absolutely possible. There are a lot of people which are interested in this. So to us, they are valuable customers that are supporting the very growth of the project. And on the other side, their properties will be serving for the needs of others that are really willing to come to the place. We need to make these places, on one side, we are increasing the capacity of the whole island in this way, because all of us investing here is giving better chance for the island to develop with the time. But on the other side, we are actually also willing to get this environment of people that are already, as I explained before, like-minded people, which are coming here for the beauty of the nature, for the lifestyle that we're offering, and all these things. But even if you are staying on the site of return on investment only, and I never come, you are still supporting this community and these vibes. So these people are more than welcome.